Christ is risen.
He is risen indeed. Hallelujah.
And as I mentioned earlier, sounds again this morning very much like he did last Sunday morning. Sounds like a man getting ready to go away and not be with the disciples like he had been for the 3 previous years, which was indeed the situation. Jesus would ascend to the right hand of the Father just a few short weeks after the words we heard this morning. And in these words, the first words that come out of Jesus' mouth this morning, which are the words that immediately follow his words last Sunday, Jesus talks this morning about what God's children should do, how God's children should act after Jesus' visible presence is removed from the earth. Jesus kind of literally, as you heard, laying down the law for his disciples, beginning with the very first words we heard this morning, "If you love me, you will keep my commandments. And I will ask the Father, and he will give you another helper to be with you forever, even the Spirit of truth." If you love me, you will keep my commandments. There's little, if any, ambiguity there. No beating around the bush on Jesus' part. It's pretty straightforward, even, well, blunt. If you love me, you will keep my commandments. Jesus makes things pretty simple. If you love Jesus, you will obey Jesus. Keep his commandments. Now, I suppose I could engage in some Lutheran theological gymnastics this morning, work some Lutheran biblical sleight of hand, try to convince you that Jesus' words this morning are not heavy on the law, that this is not a hard word. Jesus' words don't involve any burden and certainly not an obligation on us. I could try to tell you that, but I won't. Not this morning. This morning, let's let the bare words of command remain undiminished, as demanding as they sound. If you love me, you will keep my commandments. Conditional statements like that one, well, they don't always hit us quite right. In fact, such statements are quite notorious for being uncomfortable, often even manipulative. If you love me, you will ... It's the kind of thing a parent might use to initiate a little guilt trip in a child. If you love me, you'll come home for Mother's Day. Or a spouse might use to put a little pressure behind a selfish request. If you love me, you'll let me have a night out so the boys can be boys. Truth be told, we're a little wary of sentences that begin with, "If you love me, you will ... Maybe that's why our initial reaction to Jesus' words may be to try to relabel and reinterpret them as harmless, not demanding. But Jesus' words really don't let us get away with such minimizing and domesticating. Jesus says, "Love me, obey me." This morning, let's assume that because that's what Jesus says, that's what Jesus meant. And yes, it does drop a burden squarely on our shoulders. Yes, there is an expectation that comes with this Christian life thing. Yes, there is a way Jesus expects his people to live. He wants them, he wants you, he wants me, he wants us to obey. It's just that simple. But please realize that there is nothing manipulative about any of this. Jesus doesn't start with, "If you love me, you will ... because he wants to guilt you, because he wants to force you into some particular behavior that's good for him, but maybe not so good for you. No, Jesus' purpose is entirely for your benefit. His goal is that you be formed into His gracious image, fitted to His perfect plan. His aim is to make you His creature, His follower, His disciple, His brother, His sister. Jesus wants you to be a son, a daughter, a child of God. That's why He says, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. Because Jesus knows there is nothing better for you in all the world than that you keep His commandments. Because when you do that, you are shaped into His plan. The right plan, the only plan that works forever. The plan that culminates in impossibly perfect joy. Jesus is not content, you see, to simply save your soul. He wants to save all of you. He wants to save not just your afterlife, but all your life. And He wants to start now. And knowing that such obedient living does not come easy for us, He promises to send us help, the Holy Spirit. See, Jesus' words are not about manipulation. They're not about control. They're about formation and fulfillment. Love me, obey me. It's the Christian life in a nutshell. It's a description of discipleship with Jesus. God's children no longer live for themselves. They don't follow just their own ideas, fulfill just their own agendas. No, God's children learn that love means obedience, and obedience means the death of self-sufficiency, self-rule, reckless abandon. Obedience means that it is God's will that matters the most. That's the way it is for God's children. Our will is not our own. We live to follow Jesus' way. We live to obey His will. That's what children do. And maybe that's why there are times we would just as soon live as orphans. You know how it goes. From the security of your life of obedience in the household of God, you look out, you see on social media the orphans of the world running freely in the streets, out at all hours, and they look like they're having the best time. They follow no schedule, they obey no rule, they bend to no will but their own. They have only one agenda, whatever they feel like doing at the moment. They indulge every passion, explore every pleasure, manipulate every situation, use every person for their own gratification. The orphans of the world, well, they live the way they want to live. And by comparison can make our life in the household of God feel like confinement or house arrest. So there are times when we can envy them. We want to join them out there on the street. Just for a while, be one of them. An orphan, a child of the street. Freedom, fun, a frenzy of self-indulgence. It can all look so wonderfully inviting. Forsake your father, forget your brother. Do what we want. Indulge our pleasures, pursue our agenda. But you can't have it both ways, of course. That's what Jesus is getting at. Orphans live like street children, fatherless. But Jesus' followers, well, they live like members of the family. They live like the children of God that they are. Orphans only look lucky sometimes. You know the truth. The party never lasts. The fun is forced and fake and fleeting. And when the Father finally arrives to fully establish His household according to His plan, well, then the real plight of the orphans will be suddenly and tragically evident to everyone. When the Father comes, you don't want to be an orphan. When the Father comes, you want to be off the street and in his house. When the Father comes, you want to be safely asleep in Jesus, your brother, and delight in the Father's embrace. Don't be fooled by appearances. Only children have a home. Only children know their Father. So only children can obey. And you are a child of that Father. You've been made that way by your brother, Jesus, who will never forget you, never forsake you, not ever, not now. He is coming for you. He has promised it. You are his. You are not an orphan. So no need to live like one. No need to envy the kids out in the street. No need to covet the life of friends on social media. Live rather according to your identity. You are God's child, born in the waters of baptism, fed from his table, sheltered in his home, instructed by his word, guarded by his tender mercies. Live in the reality of God's Spirit, who is present for you, the guarantee of your identity. Live in the truth of Jesus. Yes, love him. Yes, obey him. That's what children do. And you are his child. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.